TrackRite is an ERP system that consists of two parts: data collection for collecting the data, and data archival for viewing that data. In the data archival, we will import all of the data collection projects, and then we'll be able to view the data that we collected. And that's what we're going to look at now. Is we can start with our date range selection. We can specify a starting date and an ending date, and every project that was completed between those two dates will appear below. So if we look at date range, year, or month, the tabs are all the same. The only thing that changes is the amount of data that we're looking at. So I'm going to go back up to the year because it has more data to look at. And down below, since we are in the totals, it shows us the totals for every status. If you look at this, installing only has 145, whereas loading and unloading have 148, and that's because 3 of those products were labeled as pending, meaning we didn't have to do anything with them in the next stage, which was installing. We can change how we want to view our data, so we can select a different type of chart, and depending on the chart that we select, we can also change the stage that we are in. Moving on to the totals breakdown, we now see a list of all of the projects that were completed, in this case in the year, or it would be the month or date range, the completion date, and then our totals for every one of them minus the actual graphs. Moving over to times, similar to the totals, we see the time. So we can see how long we spent during loading, unloading, or installing, the shortest, average, and longest durations for each one of those projects. Again, we can change how we want to view that data. Moving on to the times breakdown, we can see each project, how long each one of those stages took. And if we wanted to know why one of them took so long, we can just double click on it and it will bring us right to that project. We see the overview of that project. So we see our totals, our status totals, and our times. But before I get too much into that, let's go back and let's finish up. We have our do-overs. And the do-overs will go through and show every product from any project in either the date range, year, or month that had something bad happen. So did something get damaged? Did something go missing? Was something rejected? And it will list all of them. So looking down here, this one was missing twice in unloading. Well, I want to know why that happened, so let's double click on that product. And it will take me to the actual product inside of that project, and we can see the status breakdown. If we jump over to the information, there might be notes associated with that one. In this case, there was not. So I'm going to go back up to the Kelsey Towers and look at the overview here. We have our totals and our times. If we go to breakdown, it shows us every product in that project, what the last status was, and the timestamp for that. Media allows us to assign any type of documentation we want. It could be pictures, videos, PDFs, text files, it doesn't matter. You can click on one of those and it will automatically open it up. We can assign by just clicking on that button and grabbing this picture. Alright, you want to move it or copy it. I'm going to move it because I don't need a duplicate. And now put it in there, and all I have to do is just click on it and we can view the picture. So we can associate any amount of documentation to a project or to a product. Moving over to information, we have our description, our destination. If we wanted to look at Google Maps for this, we can click on the Google Maps and it'll pull it right up. Our notes and our signatures with our timestamps. The trucks that were used, and again the do-overs. If we wanted to take a closer look at one of these, we can just double click on it and it'll take us directly to that product. We can look at our overview, which would give us our status breakdown, our timestamps, the managers and employees. Media we already touched up on. Information is no different than it was in the projects. And then our do-overs. So how many times was this project done over?